Kyle Harper, The Fate of Rome, Climate, Disease, and the End of an Empire. What role did climate and diseases play in shaping the Roman Empire's fate? The Fate of Rome, by Kyle Harper, takes you on a captivating journey that unveils Rome's secret past. In this summary, you'll discover how favorable climate conditions contributed to Rome's prosperity. But you'll also learn how poor health and devastating diseases, such as the Antonine plague and the Black Death, constantly plagued its population. Amidst the empire's greatness, its journey was affected by climate change, infectious diseases, and eventually led to its collapse. Dive into this gripping narrative filled with surprising historical insights and intriguing revelations.
The role of climate in the Roman Empire's prosperity. Life in the Roman Empire was tough with high infant mortality rates and a life expectancy of only 25 years. However, an incredibly favorable climate contributed to the empire's prosperity during the Roman climate optimum, RCO, period. The RCO saw stable, warm, and wet weather, which was ideal for farming, and volcanic activity was almost absent. This resulted in bumper crops and fertile regions like North Africa that provided grain for the empire. However, the Roman Empire's extensive trade routes and high connectedness meant that infectious diseases thrived, posing a major challenge to the empire. Though the empire eventually slowed its expansion and achieved widespread peace, its growth was closely linked to the RCO. The contributing factors to height variation and ill health in the Roman Empire. The variation in height across different populations is primarily caused by nutrition. However, for the Romans, their small stature was likely due to disease rather than poor diet. The high density of cities and connected trade routes in the Roman Empire facilitated the spread of infectious diseases like typhoid and dysentery, which were prevalent and caused high mortality rates, especially in late summer and early fall. The Roman Empire's urban areas were also dangerously dirty, making them a breeding ground for intestinal parasites like roundworm and tapeworm. Finally, the Antonine plague had a tremendous impact on the population's health as it devastated the empire and caused millions of deaths. Rome's Antonine plague. Rome's Antonine plague, triggered by mosquitoes and smallpox, proved to be a devastating epidemic that left Rome vulnerable to economic crisis. The outbreak began in the year AD 166, affecting a population already weakened by malaria, and continued for 8 years. The disease particularly impacted the military, causing a sharp drop in silver mining that led to profound economic suffering. The economic crisis that ensued deprived the Roman Empire of its ability to withstand neighboring threats. The first fall of Rome. The city of Rome in AD 248 faced a crisis caused by devastating drought, a new pandemic, and barbarian invasions, resulting in its first fall. The Roman Empire faced continuous internal rebellions and barbarian intrusions across the river Danube and in the east after an aristocrat named Philip became emperor in AD 244. The Roman climate optimum drew to a close, and the climate regime known as the Late Roman Transition began, bringing with it a deep drought striking North Africa and Palestine. A plague event that started in AD 249 further led to the destabilization of the Roman currency, causing the prices of goods to wildly oscillate. The military loss, coin debasement, and imperial fragmentation inspired the assassination of the emperor in AD 268, but luckily his successor ushered in an age of recovery that allowed the empire to flourish once again. Rise and fall of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, after facing its first fall, went through a series of reforms. Emperor Constantine's reign brought stability to the empire. But food shortages, famine, political tensions, and an age of migrations led to the Goth revolt and the worst military loss in Roman history at the Battle of Adrianople. In the end, the Western Roman Empire fell, while the Eastern Empire still prospered. Bubonic plague, the silent terminator of the Roman Empire. The Black Rat, a Southeast Asian native, invaded the Roman Empire's eastern capital of Constantinople, carrying Yersinia pestis, a bacteria that caused the deadly bubonic plague. The pestilence hit Egypt in AD 541 and proceeded to ravage the weakened Roman Empire over 2 centuries. The frigid climate conditions provided the ideal environment for the plague to spread, ultimately dealing the fatal blow to the already faltering civilization. Constantinople lost 300,000 of its population, estimated to have been 500,000. The climate catastrophe that helped bring down the Roman Empire. A series of climate anomalies, including a volcanic winter and crop failure, contributed to the fall of the Roman Empire. The late antique Little Ice Age and bubonic plague caused demographic decline and weakened the army's defenses, leading to the empire's final collapse.
As we've explored in The Fate of Rome, climate and diseases played a crucial role in determining the course of the Roman Empire. Although the Roman climate optimum provided favorable conditions for Rome's prosperity and agricultural success, diseases like the Antonine plague and the Black Death wreaked havoc on its population. While the empire successfully rebuilt after its first fall, it didn't last, succumbing to the combination of climate anomalies in the late antique Little Ice Age and the devastating pandemics. This holistic view of Rome's rise and fall provides a unique perspective on the significance of climate and disease in history.